Good morning, all of you. Today I will be discussing about certain gross features of lungs because bronchopulmonary segments will be taken in the next class. So, to talk about lungs, the adult lungs are porous, spongy in texture and they crepitate on touch due to the presence of air in the alveoli and float in water. Fetus and stillborn children have solid lungs and they do not crepitate on touch due to the absence of air in the alveoli, hence they sink in water. Newborn lungs are rose pink in color and adult lungs are brown or black in color and mottled in appearance due to inhaled carbon particles. When you look at the lungs are large conical organs. They are pyramidal in shape. Each lung presents apex, base. This surface is below ribs, hence costal surface. This surface is towards the heart, that is the medial surface, and it has three borders. The one which is in front is anterior border, and the one which is behind is the posterior border, and the one which is below is inferior border. The site determination is when you hold the lung in dissection hall, when you hold it in your palm, you see like this surface should rest on your palm, which is the inferior surface or the diaphragmatic surface. This is apex, which is facing upwards above. The anterior border is thin, and this surface is the posterior postal surface, which is convex and directed outwards. When you look at the apex, it is rounded, blunt, superior end of the lung. It extends into the root of the neck. As we have discussed in pleura, it is around 3 to 4 centimeters superior to the first costal cartilage, 2.5 centimeters above the medial end of the clavicle. It is covered by cervical pleura, and we know the cervical pleura at the upper part, it is covered by a protective membrane, that is the suprapleural membrane. Coming to the relations of the apex of the lung. From this picture, we can make out this is sternum. That means this is the anterior aspect of the picture. This is the rib, first rib, head, neck of the rib. So that means this is the posterior aspect. So the structures which lie here are anterior. The ones which are behind are posterior. Okay, and in the midline, we have trachea front, esophagus behind. Now let us see the anterior relations of the apex of the lung. Anteriorly, it has subclavian artery, internal thoracic artery, scalenus anterior, and the subclavian vein. Posteriorly, it is related to the four structures of the neck of the first rib. The first one is we are finding the sympathetic chain, adjacent to which we have first posterior intercostal vein, then first posterior intercostal artery, and then we have ascending branch of the ventral ramus of the first thoracic nerve. Laterally, it is related to scalenus medius and the lower trunk of brachial plexus. Medially, on the right side, it is related to the right brachiocephalic vein, right phrenic nerve, brachiocephalic trunk, trachea, right vagus nerve. Left side, it is related to left brachiocephalic vein, left subclavian artery, left edge of esophagus, and the thoracic duct. Pancoast syndrome is the syndrome which is involving the apex of the lung, and when there is an extra mass found in the apex of the lung, it will compress the structures what we have found as relations of the apex of the lung, anterior, posterior, medial and lateral. So whatever structure is being compressed, the person will present with those clinical symptoms. In case if ventral ramus of T1 is compressed due to this cancer, pain along the medial side of the forearm and hand due to the compression of ulnar nerve, there will be wasting of small muscles of hand. If sympathetic chain is compressed, then there will be Horner syndrome. And if it is like compression of the first rib, it may lead to the erosion of first rib. So this is the Pancoast syndrome where you are finding extra mass of the apex of the lung compressing the structures in the neck. Cancer of the lung apex may spread to involve neighboring structures, subclavian and brachiocephalic veins, venous engorgement and edema in the neck, face and arm, subclavian artery, diminished brachial and radial pulse because it is compressed, phrenic nerve it is compressed and it is leading to paralysis of diaphragm leading to hemidiaphragm. Now coming to the base of the lung is forming the diaphragmatic surface. It is like resting on the dome of the diaphragm. It is concave and semilunar. And on the right side, this base is separated from the liver by means of the right dome of diaphragm, and on the left side, the base of the left lung is separated from the spleen and stomach by means of the left dome of diaphragm. Anterior border, this is the anterior border of right lung, which is vertical, and this is the anterior border of left lung, which is showing a notch, which is called as cardiac notch, so as to facilitate the accommodation of heart towards the left side of the thoracic cavity. Lower down, the anterior border is projecting like a tongue, and this is called as lingula. Coming to this large border, which is posterior border, which it is thick and rounded on both the sides. When coming to the inferior border, it is sharp among all the borders. It is semilunar in shape, and it is separating the costal and the medial surface. Coming to the costal surface, it is large and smooth and convex, related to the lateral thoracic wall separated by the costal flora and endothoracic fascia. Presents impression of the ribs and elevation of intercostal spaces. Number of ribs in relation: upper 6 ribs we will see in the mid-clavicular line, upper 8 ribs we will see in the mid-axillary line, and upper 10 ribs we will find in the scapular line. The medial surface consists of the post-vertebral part, posterior vertebral part, and large anterior mediastinal part. Vertebral part is flat and it is related to the intervertebral bodies and disc, vertebral bodies and intervertebral disc of upper 10 thoracic vertebrae. Posterior intercostal vessels, greater and lesser splanchnic nerves. This is the mediastinal part of the right lung. This hilum is the part where you will find the entry and exit of the structures into the lung. So the hilum of the lung, we know from the parietal pleura, it is hanging downwards to enclose the pulmonary ligament from my previous class. So we will see the medial surface of the lung has been divided into the vertebral part and the mediastinal part. So we have certain impressions on the mediastinal part. Arrangement of the structures in the hilum will be dealt in the next class tomorrow. But whatever structures we find on the mediastinal part are very, very important. So what do we see here? We will see the right subclavian vein. Then you will see the brachiocephalic trunk, superior vena cava impression. Then the arch of azygous vein. We'll see right phrenic nerve, brachiocephalic trunk, right subclavian, and the right common carotid arteries, trachea, esophagus, and the right vagus nerve. Lower down, we are finding inferior vena cava impression. Because it is right lung, we will see the right atrium and right ventricular impressions as well. Arrangements of hilum in tomorrow's class. Now coming to the left lung. Left lung, I told you in the anterior border we have cardiac notch, and this is the posterior border. The medial surface has been subdivided into the vertebral surface and the mediastinal surface. Let us see the impressions on the mediastinal surface. Because it is the left lung, we will see the left atrium and left ventricle impression. Then we have arch of aorta, then left subclavian artery, then we have the impression of the trachea, esophagus, thoracic duct, left phrenic nerve, left vagus nerve, all these in pulmonary trunk, okay, and left subclavian vein. So coming to the lobes and fissures, the right lung is divided into 3 lobes by means of 2 fissures. One is horizontal fissure and the other is oblique fissure. Left lung is divided into 2 lobes, superior lobe and inferior lobe. The oblique fissure is this one, which is running obliquely downwards and forwards, crossing the posterior border about 6 centimeters below the apex, and inferior border about 7.5 centimeters lateral to the midline. It separates the superior and middle lobes from the inferior lobe. Horizontal fissure presents only in the right lung. Then starts from the oblique fissure at the mid-axillary line and runs horizontally forwards to the anterior border of the lung and separates the superior and middle lobes. Oblique fissure is found in both the lungs, and horizontal fissure is found only in the right lung. Right lung has 3 lobes, superior, middle and inferior. Left lung has only 2 lobes, superior and inferior. Sometimes there may be an accessory lobe which is called as azygous lobe, which may be dense pea-sized shadow in the X-ray. Internal structure will be dealt the next class. Coming to the clinical aspects, emphysema alveoli may be damaged by chemicals released by the pollutants. Patient presents with shortness of breath and chest appears barrel shaped in chest radiograph. Coming to the blood supply of lung, the blood supply of lung comes from the bronchial arteries. Right lung, one bronchial artery arises from the right third posterior intercostal artery or from upper left bronchial artery. Left lung, two bronchial arteries arise from descending thoracic aorta. Pulmonary arteries supply deoxygenated blood to the lungs. Venous drainage, bronchial veins, they drain the deoxygenated blood from the bronchial tree, and right bronchial veins drain into azygous vein, left bronchial veins drain into hemiazygous vein or left superior intercostal veins. Lymphatic drainage, we have superficial lymphatic vessels and deep lymphatic vessels. Superficial lymph vessels drain the peripheral part of the lung tissue lying beneath the visceral pleura. They form superficial subpleural plexus beneath the visceral pleura. Vessels from this plexus pass around the borders and margins of the fissures of lung to reach the hilum, where they drain into bronchopulmonary, that is hilar group of lymph nodes. These are the hilar group of lymph nodes. Deep lymphatics drain the tracheobronchial pulmonary vessels, connective tissue septa, and they form deep plexus which runs along the bronchi and pulmonary vessels towards the hilum of the lung, passing through the pulmonary lymph nodes located within the lung substance. Finally, they drain into bronchopulmonary hilar group of lymph nodes. Nerve supply, parasympathetic is coming from vagus and sympathetic fibers are derived from T2 to T5 spinal segments. Bronchial asthma is a clinical condition where you will see the spasm of the smooth muscles lining the bronchi and bronchioles, which narrows the lumen of the bronchi, which will lead to the obstruction in the airway. Aspiration pneumonia, where you will see the from the esophagus, the like material can get aspirated into the tracheobronchial tree. Bronchopulmonary segments also will be dealt in the next class. Thank you.